They're an incredible Philadelphia family, one of the gifts of Texas that gave our region. And of course, Jeremiah Trotter Sr. and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. joins us right now. Trots! What's up?
Yo, what's up, baby?
What's up? What's up?
It's so
What's
good.
happening?
Oh my God, it's so good to see you guys. Oh man. So listen, Junior, do you remember coming to the show with me and your father? Like when we would do our show and he brought you to the show. Oh my God, look at you now. Stud, right? Going to be a stud NFL player. So proud of you, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Senior, how do you look like you can still play?
Yeah, you just seen my head. You ain't seen the lower half.
So what are you going to do? First, I got to ask you, what's the plans for Thursday night? What are you guys doing draft night? What's the party like? What are you guys thinking?
Just gonna be at the house, man. Got a few friends over, and just gonna enjoy the draft on Friday. We're gonna have a few friends
Friday,
over Friday. Thursday night, just gonna be hanging out, watching the draft, and we in grind mode, man. We in grind mode. We, once his season was over at Clemson, and he went in to prepare for the combine and his pro day. Once that's over, we get ready for the next step. We're preparing for the season now. So
it all begins, man. This journey's been so awesome, Junior. What's it like? The pride of the prep, right? Like, I mean, coming through it. What's this journey been like for you? And when you look at this draft, what does it mean to you?
No, it's been a long journey, but now that it's here and it's about that time, it seems like all the hard work that I put in, and just I just give glory to God and just all the hard work though put in. It just means a lot more. It was all worth it to get to this point, and I just thank God, thank family, friends, everybody that was along with me on my journey, to help me get to this point.
What have you? What does your father mean to you during this whole thing? He's a great dad. I watched him. Like he's just a good man. And what about the role that he played in just growing up through this thing, and how instrumental was his career into you choosing this path?
No, he means a lot to me. As a dad, as a father figure, somebody like look up to, learn from. But also, as far as football, teaching me how to play linebacker. So I've been learning how to play linebacker since a young age. Been teaching me like the ins and outs, like the little techniques and things that he's learned throughout his career. So it definitely helped out a lot to get to this point.
Yeah, I watch you explode through the A gap. And I go, I see the big 5'4". Right? I mean, like that A gap. Nobody exploded the A gap like your dad. What did you want this for Junior? Like, how do you set out? Like, I got two boys that play football, and they're 11 and 14, and I want you to kind of talk about fatherhood for a second. And as you look, and I know with such great pride that you have in Junior, what was your mindset with this? Did you have an interest, or like how did it all start for him?
Well, we have a tendency as parents to kind of steer our children into the areas that we really enjoy, and obviously football is a staple in our family, and I wanted to steer him towards that. And you put them in it at a young age, you just coach them, let them have fun, and teaching them ins and out, and you hope they enjoy or love it the way you love it. And he always loved the game. He was always physical when he was little, even at 2 or 3 years old, just a physical, tough kid. And I knew at a young age if he continued to grow, and God gave him my abilities, he would be at this moment now. So just a joy to watch the process throughout his career, his journey, and to see the young man he's become, all the hard work, the sacrifices that has went into it. And a lot of times as athletes, people see, you play on Sundays or Saturdays on game days, but they don't really understand the amount of work and sacrifices that have went into it just to get to the stage that he's at now.
Yeah, the behind the scenes stuff, I mean, the aches and pains and all the work to do for prep, and you lived it. It's funny. I look at you now, and you're so prideful. I love it. I love the father's pride. Like, you could care less about your own, what you've accomplished, and what was an amazing career, and it's all about Junior. I just think that's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm just happy for him, man. I'm happy for him. A lot of times you get a lot of parents that kind of live through their children, right? But I don't have to do it because one, I played the game, I played the highest level, but I'm just happy for him, man, because no matter the amount of talent that God gave me or God gave him, it still has to be extra things that go into that to make that talent work, and like I said, sacrifice, determination, the work ethic, the heart, the dog, all of those things have to go into it, man. And I've seen him do it. He's been a pro he since a young age, just always about his business, always putting in the work needed to be done. And then when you combine all of those attributes and the God-given ability, you get a heck of a player.
Junior, when did you know that this was really the path you wanted?
I'd probably say, like eighth grade, as I got older and really understood, how high I could get, and like the work that it took to put in. Because when you're younger, you're just playing the game for fun, running around, just having fun with your friends, or just trying to go out there and make plays. But as I grew older and took it more seriously, seeing it as like a career I would like to go down, I started to, really grind and focus in on like what I had to do to get to this point. So a pretty young age that I was taking it seriously, how I carried myself, how I prepared to make sure I could make it to this point, and I just making sure that the first thing overall was keeping God first.
How did St. Joe's Prep really kind of help you and kind of get you through it? Because I think it's a wonderful program, and they really help shape. And what kind of role did the prep have in preparing you for Clemson and such big time football and ultimately the draft?
I feel like they did a very good job preparing me, and I feel like they do a good job just preparing the student athletes that go through that high school. Just because as far as academic wise, it is pretty tedious, and is you're gonna have to be hard working and focused academically if you want to make sure that you keep your grades up. And then football wise as well, you're playing against good competition in the area. You travel and you'll play competition around the country. So you're getting, you got to be focused on both ends of the spectrum to make sure you're prepared. And I feel like St. Joe's really did a good job of doing that. So when I got to college, I could just like keep doing what I've been doing for 4 years, really. So they really prepared me, really made sure I was ready on both my academics and as an athlete.
What do you remember from Dad's career? Were you living it like Eagles fan, the whole thing? Like, what do you remember from that?
For me, I was pretty young when he was playing, but I remember highlights going as I got older, going to games and like seeing how fans interacted with him. He brought me and my brother out on the field when he was inducted on the Eagles Hall of Fame. So I remember parts of his career like that, and it's like just basically seeing like the impact that he made. As far as on the Eagles fans and just the game of football in general. And so I experienced that, and just I remember how everybody would treat him, coaches, players, fans, and I just really admire that.
Listen, when Dad came back, right, and this is a long time. It was like 2004. See, in 02 and 03, we missed that. The Eagles, if Dad was playing middle linebacker in 02 and 03, the Eagles would have won the Super Bowl, right? But he comes back in 04, and he did something that was so amazing, right? And I want to share this with you because I lived it with him. So he was clearly better than who was playing in that position at the Mike linebacker. But Dad didn't say a word, right? Like Dad worked his ass off. He just, all the respect in the world. Then they got trounced by the Steelers. And then Andy Reid said, you know what? I got to put the Axeman in. And the Axeman never left the field after that. And he was one of the big, and he was always team guy. And in fact, he did wrong, and it was salary cap, it was business, right? But he wanted his contract when he left, and they wouldn't give him a deal, and he deserved it, right? So he goes to Washington, and before he came back to Philadelphia, he called Coach Andy Reid, and there was a dream, and they talked to one another, and it was really a beautiful moment. And I thought your father handled that moment with amazing class. And then as they go on to this Super Bowl, Dad is rolling, the team's rolling, and then we started creating T-shirts. See, we were early with the merch called the Axeman T-shirt. And your uncle ran the operation. The hatchet.
The hatchet. My brother.
What do you remember from that year, that story, and the lesson that really it helps, to impart to Junior about how you handle that stuff?
Well, just always grind, man. And, when things are not going well, pray and grind. And I went through, they know all the stories about my rookie year, how tough it was for me, and, just losing my dad and having to try to play underneath that stress, and, just going back to the hotel and burying my head into the pillows and just crying myself to sleep. And just grind, just pray and grind, man. When things get tough, you pray and grind. Eventually, you're gonna get through it. So, I feel very confident that I've done everything I could do to raise my children the best way I could. I'm not perfect; they're not perfect, but I feel very confident that I prepared him to be able to withstand anything that life has to throw at him.
What do you think is when you're raising a young athlete? Because it's a passion of mine, having my two boys and sports, and I think sports is so important to children, boys and girls, and their development in every walk of life, right? And it helps keep them out of trouble, and it helps kind of hone their social skills, and it teaches them to dig deep inside them. What's some of the advice that you give to young athletes and young football players, especially those, like Junior, who have some talent, real talent?
Well, my dad used to say there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So basically, there's more than one way to raise your children. I only know how I raised mine, and sports for us wasn't just, oh, let's go have fun and just this. No, we're gonna compete to win, because life is all about winning. Everything you do in life is competition. And if you can put forth the work ethic, the discipline, and all those things that it takes to win, even if you don't win, if you're putting forth all of those things it takes to win, all of those things translate outside of football to the classroom, in life, when it's time to compete, when things don't go well. You're able to withstand. You got a good foundation. You're able to withstand those things, those darts, and those things that life throws at you.
Did you have a place of maybe for me it's Chick-fil-A. I take Anthony to after a game, and if he's not, something happens, or after practice, I go get him a milkshake and about 100 nuggets, and that's kind of our bonding moment. Did you guys have something like that, like a bonding time, or when things like after a game, youth game, high school game?
Well, fortunately for us, had a great wife, had a great mom. We didn't eat out a lot. So she would prepare everything for the most part. So we didn't have necessarily a particular place. But for us, bonding was either playing golf or just surrounded by football. After youth games, we would go straight home. My wife would prepare a meal for everybody, and it would always have a couple of teammates over, maybe a couple of the coaches' sons and some of the other coaches, and we would sit down and watch the film. We would make our corrections that day while it was still fresh on their mind, and so they would play on Saturday. We go home, watch everybody shower up. We would eat while we're watching film, and make the corrections. Then we will put that game behind us. The next week we'll start preparing for the next opponent. So for us, that was, for me anyway, that was a great bonding time for me. I can't speak for Jeremiah but and Josiah, but that was great bonding for me.
How about you, Junior? How do you say it? What do you remember of those like bonding moments? I just think it's they're so precious, right? That you'll always have that. Like having your dad be that close to you is a beautiful gift.
Yeah, no, those bonding moments, definitely mean a lot, especially growing up and when you're young and trying to develop and you're just playing football for fun. And then if sometimes you come off a tough loss and then you have like one of those moments, like going back home, you'll have a dinner, my mom would cook, teammates come over and, we'll watch film. And then after film, after, we made the corrections, we just hang out and have a little bit of fun, watch TV, play video games, stuff like that. All of it, just all just growing up, things that you miss, about the growing up and learning. But I remember those times, just watching film with my teammates, and then after we made the corrections, just playing video games and just putting that game behind us. So definitely means a lot, and I appreciate my dad, just how he raised us and everything he taught me.
Is how important having dad going through his experience translating to you when it comes to preparedness for this, now going into the NFL and then playing, big time college football at Clemson.
No, it definitely means a lot. Just because when you're learning things that an NFL caliber player has learned throughout his career, and you're learning at a young age, when other kids they're not learning until later in their careers, it means a lot because you can start working on it earlier, and you already know the correct technique and like the how to go about how you play the game and prepare for the game at an early age, so you can start working on that and correcting that. So when you get to this type of level, you're confident and that you're prepared and you have all the tools that you need to succeed. You just gotta keep grinding, keep working, and make sure that you just give God the glory, and everything else will fall in place.
Junior, what do you love about football?
I'd probably say the biggest thing for me is the competition. I love going out there and competing against other high talented players, and even if you don't make a mistake or you miss a tackle, you can always work on things to improve your game and get better so you can um, you know outperform the players that you're going against. So I love that factor of just always looking to get better and competing and just seeing it the hard work that you put in off the field or when the lights aren't on pay off on game day.
Do you like the X and O part? Like having dad who knows the game from that standpoint at such a high level, such a high football IQ. Is that something that translated down to you, where you look at the X and O's and it's because there's something fun about that piece of it too,
Oh yeah.
especially you as the quarterback of the defense.
Oh, definitely. That's definitely another fun part of the game. Just the mental part. When you're watching film and you pick something up and then you see it on game in game time, and you can just react faster than your opponent because you know what's coming. Like there's some situations in college when I was watching film and I see a motion out of this formation, a certain offensive formation, and I knew what was coming. So I'm basically beating the running back or the offensive lineman to the point, and because I study film and I put in the work for the mental part to make sure I play fast.
Senior, when you think about the beauty of being a dad, right, and the beauty of him following your footsteps is the mistakes that you made, right? Like you realize that. So it's awesome, right? Because you can then kind of prep them into not making the same kind of mistakes. what did you like? Give me an example of maybe something that you told them to like warn against.
just just going through your progressions, get the play in, go through your progressions, see splits by the receivers, or check the offensive linemen, because those big guys, as they get a little tired, they start to lean or cheat, especially when they're pulling or when they're pass setting. Um, Certain formation, a lot of times you'll see a tight end that's off the ball peeking where he wants to go, stuff like that. So those type skills, it takes time to learn all that, because most people, they just line up, they
Yeah.
get the call, line up and play. You can't play football that way. You have to communicate, right? So if you see a guy leaning, hey, alert the pool right here, alert the pool. Now you're not only making yourself better, you're making the people around you better. Now that doesn't mean you just take off running to the left. You just alert the pool right here, or alert run, or alert the pass, and you know all of it, man. Just watching tons of film, because everybody have telltale signs. We're human. Everybody has it. The great ones, they do a really good job of making everything look the same. But for the most part, everybody has something. We're creatures of habit, and a lot of times we get in the habit of doing certain things, and then it's your job to watch film to check those habits, and little stuff like, okay, I know you're blitzing on this play before the snap. Well, how you know that? Well, your stance is different from when you're not blitzing. You see what I'm saying? And I said,
Yes.
if I can see it, they can see it. You know, so just the ins and outs of the game. I mean, they was learning stuff, was using your hands, stuff that I didn't learn until I got to the NFL. So I feel very fortunate to be able to instill all of that knowledge back into them.
That's awesome. You kind of fell in love with coaching, didn't you? Like you seem like you got the bug.
No, I wouldn't say I fell in love with coaching. I've always loved to coach my boys just to make them better, and because I help coach their teams, I felt the responsibility to help everyone else also. So
Yes.
I felt a responsibility that all the people that came along, came up with them, played with them, I owed it to the game to teach everyone else also, because God, blessed me to be in that position. So, and I've absorbed a lot of knowledge over my career. I played with a lot of smart people. I played underneath for a lot of smart people, coordinators, position coaches, and I also studied other players' game. I watch other players' game. When I'm watching offenses, I'm studying other linebackers. What do, what not to do. You know, well, that didn't work for him, so I'm not gonna try that. And I've been able to give all that knowledge back to them, and I always tell them, listen, I went through all these mistakes, so you don't have to. I'm telling you, this is what's coming. This bait right here. Don't go for the bait. All right, don't go for the bait. Hold out a deep, break on the short. Down in distance. Already got to know the down in distance, man. You already got to get a cadence of the quarterback. Watching game film. See, I always talk to them, watch game film, because game film, you get a really good feel of the defense coordinator and what stages of the game he likes to make certain calls. Like I said earlier, we're creatures of habits, right? And coaches, in certain situations, they go back to what they know has worked in the past, right? So when you're watching game film, you can get a feel of what's going on in the defense coordinator's mind versus watching cutups.
Makes perfect sense. Junior, what advice would you have for young athletes and young football players?
First, I would say, be strong in your faith, because when you're going down this path and you're trying to make it to this level, everybody's going to have, their trials and tribulations. So if you're not strong in your faith, when those tribulations come and trials, then you're not going to be able to make it through. So that'd be the first thing. And the second thing would be, just work hard and grind, because there's a lot of people, or a saying that I've heard is, um, talent will lose to basically, it basically says, like, when talent isn't working hard, hard work is going to beat talent any day. So you can have all the talent in the world, and there's so many stories of people that have all the talent in the world, but they just didn't have the mindset or the work ethic. And the people that are less talented will outwork them. and they'll beat them out, or they'll accomplish more. So that would probably be the two biggest things I would say. If you have that mindset and you keep God first, then you'll be able to make it to the heights that you want to make.
Beautiful. Great stuff. Senior, long way from chopping wood, baby. Long way from
man.
Texas, brother.
Hey, it made a man out of me, though, man. I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
Out there chopping those woods, man, in this Texas heat, 105, 110 degrees all day in the summertime. When I got home from school, made a man out of me, man. And I knew no matter, there was nobody on the football field that was going to outwork me. Because I already worked all day. Then I go to practice and work another 2 hours. Hey, I'm ahead of the game.
That's right. Hey, Junior, your father has the greatest trait. He makes people feel good. When he comes in the room or when he talks to you, he makes people smile and he makes people feel good, which is a great gift. Not ball carriers or quarterbacks, but everybody else, he makes them feel good. I sense that's like you. I wish you all the success in the world, man. All right? I love that Trotter name. It means a lot in this area. So God bless both of you, and good luck, and enjoy it, man. Take a moment, no matter what happens, where you go, just enjoy your accomplishment that you're going to be drafted into the NFL, Junior.
I appreciate that, and definitely going to try to smell the roses and really enjoy it.
Trot, love you, buddy.
All right, love you too, cuz.
You're the man.
All right, take it easy.
God bless you. Here he is, the Trotters. I love them, and they're fantastic.
We all silly like the mayor.